Welcome Yamhill County to Speaking Frankly. I'm your host, Howie Harkema, and our tagline is, "And how we doin'?" Today our topic is Blanchet Farm in Carlton, Oregon, and we're going to be speaking with Ross Sears, the farm manager. Ross, nice to have you with us. We're also going to be speaking with Ken Sundred, who is a recovery resident. Nice to have you with us, Ken. We're going to speak with Vicky Spear, who is the case manager at the farm. Thank you for being here, Vicky. And we're going to be speaking with Tim Barrett, who's the woodshop manager at the farm. Tim, nice to have you with us. So, first of all, Ross, as the manager at the farm, what is Blanchet Farm?
Blanchet Farm is part of Blanchet House of Hospitality in Portland. The farm is set up as a program. It's transitional housing for men, but it's also set up as a recovery type farm. Some guys, I'd say most of the guys that come through are probably homeless, but not all of them. Some guys are using this like a treatment center. We are not a treatment center,
right?
But the guidelines are very similar, yeah, it's
all good.
Yeah.
So how many are on your staff at the farm?
We have 3 staff guys, and also Tim and I are 2 of the employees that work there, and we have 3 staff guys: a driver, an outside foreman, and then actually a backup driver. Sometimes I'll have 4. Just depends on who I kind of got. I usually have a house manager too.
Right.
Right now that isn't filled, but hopefully soon.
But Vicky's also on your staff as well, right?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of more of Blanchet's staff, I would say.
I see.
Yeah.
Very good. So, what is Blanchet House? Blanchet
House has been around for just a little bit of history too. For about over 65 years, and it started out as kind of like a soup kitchen. It's kind of transformed into, the programs are similar, even though there are some definite differences. There's 56 guys that go through that program, 21 guys that go through our program.
And that's in Portland.
And that's in Portland. But they actually feed the homeless. They do 3 meals a day, 6 days a week for over 65 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is this through Catholic Community Services, or?
Well,
or is it its own entity?
It's its own entity. It's set up as a 501c3 nonprofit.
Right.
It's privately funded, so there's no federal, no state,
no regional.
Yeah, it's just people. It's basically been kind of a Catholic community that's been the main people that have been donating to Blanchet for many years. That's opening up. People are really starting to find out about both places. They've known about the Blanchet House for quite a while. The thing with the farm, it's been kind of this hidden little gem that people didn't know about.
Unless you lived in Yamhill County.
Unless you lived in Yamhill County.
Right.
But, yeah, it just, people didn't really know about it. Even in, say, the last 10 years, that's really starting to flip around now.
Sure. So can you give us a little bit of history about Blanchet House? You said it's been in existence for 65 years.
Yeah. To my understanding, it started off with a couple of guys from Portland Community College. And they needed a project. They wanted to start a fraternity, and the archdiocese, I think it was the archdiocese, said, no, that's not good enough. So they actually started the soup kitchen. So that's how that all got
huge
rolling.
need.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So basically, that they've been doing that for many years. A couple of the guys, they noticed that, they would walk down the streets of Portland and kind of see alcoholics and addicts kind of on the ground, and sleeping on sidewalks, and they felt like they needed to do something a little bit more. So in 1962, they purchased Blanchet Farm. Couldn't do this today, but they'd basically kind of Shanghai guys, and they'd end up at the farm, wake up at the farm. Kind of a funny story, but definitely couldn't do that today.
No.
But that was their goal. They seen the need. Blanchet Farm has been a couple different things over the years. A migrant work camp at one time. I'm not even sure what all it was, but
Sure.
But now it's set up as transitional housing for men.
And 12-step program.
And a 12-step program, yep.
So, let's talk about the 62 acres of love that the farm is. And any of you can answer this question. So, from your perspective, Vicky, 62 acres of love.
Well, I would just relate it to the compassion and care that really that Ross and Tim and everyone from the agency has for the guests that are in our care.
Right.
And I believe that that is evident to anyone that comes to the farm. They notice that care and compassion. It's not just with the staff, but even with the guests, with one another. It's, again, we just feel like it's a natural ingredient. And again, we think it goes with the Catholic mission. I would even go back to, it's had a founding father at our breakfast this last year. We have a once a year fundraising breakfast, and really he actually said that the founding fathers were to go out to the streets and find the least of them and see Christ in each one of them.
Right.
And really that means to see the love in the fullness, the plan and purpose that each one has potential of, and to bring them back and to really treat them that way.
And bring them back into community holistically.
Yeah.
And that's really important. And dignity and respect is really important with what
Right.
all that you guys do.
Yeah.
And as residents, we learn that with dealing with some of the animals, I think, and people also. We get to nurture things that can't take care of themselves when we're not able really at that point to take care of ourselves either. Otherwise, we wouldn't be homeless, right? So it started for me in the animals, with the animals.
Sure.
And I come up and I didn't want to get attached. That's one of the other things. I didn't want to get attached in these darn animals, you know. And I did. I ended up getting attached to quite a few of them. And we've got some old, Rip, he's like 15 or 16.
Yeah, Rip, he's an old dog that we have up there. He's been on the farm his whole life, and he's going on 16 years old, so that's pretty good for a big dog.
That's darn good.
But one of the things I'll tell people when they ask, well, what is the farm? I mean, what's the point?
Right.
The thing that it does, it removes guys immediately from problems or situations. Doesn't mean that they're going to go away. They're still there, but it gives a guy time to kind of work on some things, get some things in order, start working a program, and getting some clarity.
Yes.
And then being able to handle.
And
some of
away
those
from bad influences.
Absolutely.
Stress and chaos too.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, stress and chaos.
And it's very quiet. The only thing you hear at night are coyotes whooping it up. So the hustle and bustle of downtown, that doesn't happen
Right.
out there. It's
And
very
there's
peaceful.
not even a harsh light source near you guys.
We can
Exactly.
see the stars.
Yeah, you can actually see the stars.
Yeah.
Tim, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
Oh, I just think almost everybody who comes out to the farm is just shocked because whether you have stuff when you get there or don't have stuff, everything is provided for you. So
Right.
what do you need? We're going to fulfill every need so you don't have to worry about anything but fixing yourself. And we'll help you with that too, with case management, all kinds of things.
Peer
The peer
support.
support is real big. Yeah, getting into a 12-step program, which is more peer-driven
Right.
support, and so people can just, you can see it, physically see it in people when they come out there and find out what's going to happen while they're there, the relief, the stress leaving them
Right.
because of that. So it's really a neat Neat program.
It's unique.
Yeah, it's
Very
very
unique.
unique. Yeah.
I'm going to come back to you, brother, because I cut you off a little bit and jumping over to Tim. But
It's all right.
you had something else you'd like to say.
Yeah, I mean, as far as our 12-step program, I mean, we're part of Yamhill County.
Yeah.
We go to meetings. We have open format. We're part of District 22 AA.
Right.
So we have guys that come up to our, people that come to our meetings. We go to their meetings, do functions and stuff. So it's really involved with the local 12-step.
Well, you're networking all of the possibilities.
Absolutely.
And that's awesome. And that's what, collaboration and working together is how we solve these
Exactly.
problems.
Well, and it keeps people connected to the community as well. We don't want to just straight up cut people off from society. Even though we do have our own little microcosm, we
Right.
still want people to stay connected. And as you are there longer and getting closer to transitioning out, the networking becomes more and more
Important, I would think.
important.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
it also becomes more and more focused.
Sure.
We want to make sure you have connections out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've talked about that you are a nonprofit and you also are a 12-step program. But what is Blanchet Farms' mission?
Boy, we could probably all answer that in different ways. There's just so many things. It's to hopefully provide a safe, comfortable place for a guy to get things together, to become, a functional member of society again.
Right.
It gives time for that to happen, and with the peer support and case management, that's exactly what happens there. So, I mean, everybody here could probably answer that in a different way.
Yeah.
I'm going to come over to you,
All right.
Ken.
The long-term housing with no economic burden is so huge.
Right.
Somebody that for me, I'm dealing with 20 years ago, some stuff, and never been able to deal with that because I had to work to be able to pay for my housing. So I've had surgeries that there's no way I would have been able to have that, but it kept me from working. So what was the only thing else I could do? I went homeless.
Right.
And now I've got roots in this city
Sure
and
you do.
in this county again. So it's been pretty neat.
We're going to come back to you in
All
just a
right.
minute. Vicky? So, same question.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to just expand on that. I was thinking the words were like it's really what Ross said, though. It's to provide food, clothing, and shelter. And I think that is just the basics. It's just the basics to provide some kind of stabilization for people.
Yes.
So that they can begin to even think, to look at the different areas of their life that they may need to begin to address in order to stabilize.
Right. Stability is the number one key factor of coming out of homelessness holistically,
Yeah.
period. Without a roof over your head, it's almost impossible to start the recovery process.
It is.
Yeah, you stay in a catch-22 cycle that you can't get out of. You don't
Exactly.
have a phone, you don't have an address, you don't have a place to clean up or do laundry, all that
And
stuff.
how do you even apply for a job if you have no address?
Right.
Exactly.
Or one
Right.
has to travel great distances, 7, 10, 12 miles to go from camp to, say, the city center here where a person can take a shower.
Right.
Across the street from mental health. This is a smaller place, but in the bigger cities, they want homeless people 7, 10, 12 miles away.
Sure.
And that's pretty tough.
It's really tough.
One thing that's unique about Blanchet also is that it's not cookie cutter. That's actually one of Ross's phrases. But even though we have a life plan through the case management, everybody's needs are different.
Sure.
Some have
We're all
more, some
unique,
have less. Yeah. And so everything is tailored to what you need, not what we're going to provide for you.
Sure, that makes the most sense of all.
It works really well.
We have to put in the work, but there's the structure and safety that allows it to happen,
And accountability.
and accountability.
Yeah.
And all tailored to each individual rather than we just say, this is what you're going to learn, this is what you're going to do, and
Right.
you either take it or leave it. It's all tailored.
That's awesome. So how are you funded?
all of Blanchet is funded, like I was saying, like it's privately funded 501c3 nonprofit, so it's private donations.
Right.
That's how it's always been. The thing I do like about that is they can make kind of their own rules. I don't know, if you start doing, government, state level, you have to adhere to a lot of different stuff. So, it's brilliant. The concept is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, which can I say, that's part of the reason why I was excited taking on the position there as case manager, because again, it goes back to being able to treat people as individuals and let them come up with their own plans, instead of saying, here are the plans that are already made for you.
Right.
You create relationships, and again, that individual piece of what each person has to do.
Right, it's not a dictatorship. It's an open-ended scenario where they can learn things that actually help them, specifically
Yeah.
them, back into community.
Yeah. And
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, it's just so interesting. I want to just say with that, it's coming from a treatment field and that background, even working inpatient. Because of the sense of the community, you're calling it that, the love that is generated, the genuine care, respect, integrity. Again, I just think of somebody the other day that said to me that we are immersed in recovery here, Vicky. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. Again, when you actually see the men caring for one another and engaging in conversations that are helping each of them process and grow daily. Anyway,
Right.
It's
I would
a
think
real
it's hour by
beautiful thing.
hour,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
So, let's see. So who do you serve, and are they all from Oregon?
No, they're not all from Oregon. It doesn't matter where a guy's from. I've had guys from back east, Florida, Maine, Texas. It doesn't matter.
How do they
gotta
even hear about it?
Boy, well, and it's getting better now as far as, say, internet and stuff, but for a long time it was kind of word of mouth. We do deal with some agencies, hospitals, jails, even courts, but it was now that things are improving as far as websites and stuff.
Sure.
It's a lot
Social
easier.
media.
Yeah, social media. But who we cater to, it's alcoholics and addicts. Not like I was saying before. Not everybody is homeless.
Right.
Not everybody has a place to go to. Some of the guys show up with nothing. Some guys have wives and families, and they are using that like a treatment center. And once again, I'll emphasize, we are not.
Right.
That isn't. But the structure is very similar.
Don't some counties consider it equivalent though? For like,
Yeah, some courts, and I mean, it's been known for a long time. It's like a lot of courts are okay with guys coming there and doing our program, and that's good. That's just because of they know who it is, what it is,
Sure.
and stuff like that.
But you do receive referrals, I would assume.
We do, and that's improved hugely with Vicky. And some of the contacts and people that she's even known, bringing this, for years and years, there was no, Vicky or case manager.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
just completely self-ran. Whoever would be manager would, just like me, I came up through the program. I was going to do my 90 days and be on my way. I would have been dead years ago. I didn't change anything. I didn't do anything. Blanchet allowed enough time for things to happen, but Vicky's help has been huge. Some of the stuff that she's able to do and help out with the guys, absolutely awesome.
So how long have you been out of recovery now?
I came up to the farm 9.5 years ago, so like I say, I was going to do my 90 days, be on my way.
Here you are.
I'm forever grateful to Blanchet, but some of the guys I came through the program
Sure.
with, it's pure. It's
Well, that's what we're going to talk about next.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do that. Peer-to-peer, family-like support care, compassion, and visualizing the potential of each human being as they come through.
Right.
Let's talk about that.
Well, the easiest way, I actually went through peer support training here about 1.5 years ago, and amazingly, I loved it, but wow, it's 12-step program is what it is, basically.
Right. Sure.
You know, the amazing thing and easiest way to kind of explain peer support that stuck out for me anyways is, say you have a problem, you know, who do you go to talk to? You go talk to your friends. You know what I mean? And that's what peer support
Right,
is.
exactly.
You got somebody in the same boat, been through the same thing, that's who you're talking your problem about.
Right.
That's who, you know, as alcoholics and addicts, that's who we're going to listen to. Somebody, you know, that starts the ball rolling. Peer support has been going on at that farm for many, many years.
Yeah.
That whole concept is just absolutely brilliant.
Can I say add to that?
Quickly.
Okay, well, I just want to say it's like, because of the 12-step programs and the different men that come there, even going out to other meetings, there's people with various levels of sobriety.
Yes.
So that's where they also can see the people from the farm through the program with all these varying levels of sobriety, doing various different things. So that inspires and influences them, gives them a lot of hope that if they can do that, they can too.
Right.
So that's
So their self-confidence is majorly brought up.
Absolutely.
And self-esteem as well.
Yeah.
Everybody goes through pause after drugs and alcohol when they sober up, and so the people that have been there for almost a year or longer, they went through that too, so we can identify with those
Sure.
people.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I know what's going on, you know?
Exactly.
We've been there. We've been there.
You're doing just
We
fine.
know.
It's normal.
Yeah, and if you
So
can-
we're down to 7 minutes and 30 seconds total time left, and we got a long way to get through here yet.
Uh-oh.
So what are some of the work opportunities for those staying on the farm? And we'll start with you, Tim. Let's talk about the wood shop.
Well, the wood shop is one of the work opportunities. Obviously, like I say, it's, well, maybe I didn't say it yet, but it's become a formal program within the last year. Me being hired as an employee instead of just being on staff.
Right.
And we're formalizing some of the structure and trying to cater to specific skills the guys would actually use once they leave.
Sure.
And now we're adding on actual construction, not just furniture building and wood shop skills.
Right.
So we're going to construction, which would be house building.
So how did you get into the Adirondack chairs? I need to know that.
The Adirondack chair started when the wood shop became the wood shop. How many years ago? Back in 2007, 8, right in there. We had some tools. They sat down in the barn, and what is now the wood shop was the laundry room. And so we decided to bring it up and get more formal with it, because on a farm there are hundreds of things that need to be repaired, need to be built.
Sure.
Projects.
Yeah, we build furniture for our own self, you know, for our living room, for the
Exactly.
dorms, everything. So there was just tons of it. So setting up the wood shop became, a smart thing to do. And so,
And I noticed that you have a lot of people that are in your wood shop that are going through that apprenticeship program. Would you talk about unionizing those gentlemen? And
yeah, Blanchet has basically formally gotten in contact, or is now partnered with the Northwest Carpenters Union. And they are needing, all around the country, they're
I'm
needing
sure
a
of it.
lot more union people, because so many are about to retire. And so there's a huge push. So it's a natural fit for us, because we have young men that come in that don't have careers.
Right.
And so what it is Blanchet pays for them to go through the training, 3 weeks of training with the Carpenters Union, and that's formal training, hands-on.
Right.
And then the next part of their training is coming out to the farm, and we work with them hands-on, building, solving problems, construction issues. And then once they've gone through a certain length of time where they're confident and the union's confident, they get direct hired right into the apprenticeship.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so they have a job right then.
And a career path.
Yes.
Yep.
And let's quickly talk about gardening. You have animals up there, you have cooking, you have dishwashing, you have grounds maintenance, you have cleaning of the house, and the place is immaculate. So let's talk about that real quickly.
Yeah, every guy that comes to the farm is responsible to do a job. You know, it gets a guy back into a good, healthy routine, being responsible, just like a job.
Sure.
It's free. This program is free to anybody that comes up there. So you could say the trade-off is for room and board would be to work. You know, it's 34 hours in a week. But these guys take the good pride, not say being prideful, but the good pride of how that place looks. It is immaculate.
It's
Everything's
immaculate.
picked up, cleaned up. And that's good practice, you know, that's some normalcy.
Yeah.
Out of tons of chaos that we've created before we got there. Animals, I could go on all day about animals.
Yeah.
I need to do another whole segment.
Yeah.
Therapeutic
That changes
We
value.
need another
hearts.
half hour
Yeah, that
because
changes
we're down to
hearts.
3 minutes now.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, Ken, quickly,
Yes.
you've been a recovery resident for a while. Talk about your stay there, what it's done for you.
I've been almost there. Been there for almost a year now. What it's done for me, I would like to be ready here soon, within the next few months, because I've gotten so much done, to transition on. Yet I still haven't fulfilled the life plan that Miss Vicky and I set up 2 weeks after I got there. So by the end of July, I still haven't completed some of those things
Okay.
yet. But I have completed so many other things, and the biggest thing is a peace of mind. I've picked up life skills through cleaning, taking care of stuff, taking care of animals, taking care of myself.
Sure.
You know, I'm looking at Project Able Peer Support, a wellness scholarship for that also, and I'm not sure where this is really going to take me. I may be like the lady that got me up there as far as for mental health. You know, I mean, I'm really connected within the community because of the ability to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For yourself.
which was a main goal of mine coming back to Yamhill County as a resident.
So, Vicky, how is case management helpful to the men on the farm?
Well, again, it is supporting them, again, in dealing with their barriers and identifying goals. And I think, again, it's also connects them back into the community.
Yes.
Because a lot of the gentlemen, it's like Ken, after they're there and get engaged in the farm, they go into Yamhill County Mental Health or other mental health programs.
Sure.
They're taking care of legal kind of issues. They're dealing with medical issues. They're going to dentists. They're having their health care is definitely established. They're creating resumes. So I feel like I help support the bridge, not only after they create a foundation in their recovery there, but back into the community as well.
That's
So-
fantastic. So, tell us about the hands-on support without any micromanagement, Ross.
Yeah, the thing that brought me to the farm, you know, I'm not knocking traditional treatment. I am not. I probably wasn't ready then. I've been to quite a few of them. The thing that happened, it was kind of meetings, reading, writing, groups, therapy stuff all day long. It's like I heard about this place being in a detox again, one of many. So Blanchet Farm, well, what's that? You know, it's like, wow, it's this place. It revolves around recovery, but it's like you get to do something during the day. You get to work. Amazing. You know, I want to check that out.
That's awesome.
So the thing is, with alcoholics and addicts, we all know if you tell us to do something when we're in our addiction, what do? We do the opposite.
Belligerent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the letting the guys come to conclusions, figuring some of this stuff out. That's key. I mean, you have to be ready to change. You do, but you got to do it. You can't be forced. You know, you're not going to do it for your wife, for your mom, for your dad, for your kid. It sounds good, but man, you got to do it for yourself. And that's kind of how we look at that. It isn't me walking around all day telling guys you gotta sit in your room and read your big book, because they're not going to do
Right.
that. They're going to have to want to do some of this stuff. So that's kind of the mentality that goes along with Blanchet Farm.
Give them some guidance and let them go at their
Yeah.
own pace.
Yep.
That's fantastic. So we have run out of time completely. Actually, we've gone over just a
Yeah.
little bit, and I don't even care. So you heard it from these guys. It's all about dignity and respect,
It is.
and respect for the other. It's all about doing the right thing in a 12-step program. It's about peer-to-peer support, and it's about organizing it in such a way that as they come through the program and back into community, that they're holistically sound and able to move forward in their life path.
Yep.
So thank you, Ross.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Howie.
Thank you, Vicky.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Tim, so much for being on today. And thank you, viewers, for watching. Great job, everybody. So our mics are now off.
I didn't answer your question.
Is